The learning target for this video is I can find the domain and range of a graph. We're first going to look at that linear function. If you'll recall, domain are the values that x can take in terms of the function given. Okay, so we're looking at the x values. So if I look here at this linear function, I'm going to put arrows here to indicate that this is continuing to go forever. So I can plug in any x value and it's going to give me some sort of output of a y value. So when I can use any x, we say that we can use all real numbers for our domain. Okay, again, the reason being I could go over here to -3 and it's going to plot a point on this line. This line extends forever, so it's going to eventually touch any x value. And same thing with the y's. As my line extends, I go further and further decreasing in the y direction and further increasing in the y direction over here. So again, we would say all real numbers. And this is true for every linear function. Okay, next if we look at a quadratic function, the domain here, okay, these are going on forever. So as these lines increase, okay, I can plug in any x. This is just going to get wider and wider in the positive x direction. Same thing here in the negative x direction as I plug in more and more negative x values. I'm still going to have points on that graph. So again, my domain is all real numbers. But this time I do have a stipulation in terms of my range and my y values. If I notice here, this is a quadratic function, so this happens to open upward, which means I have a minimum value, and that minimum value is where I'm stopping for my y's. Notice I'm never going below this point. Okay, we're only going above this point in the y direction. So my range would be all real numbers that are greater than or equal to -4 because we're starting at -4 and then we're including all of the y values that are greater than that number. So when we look at an exponential function, it's going to be a similar situation to this quadratic situation. My domain, those x values, it looks like this is going to continue. I can use any x value in the negative direction. As this continues, I can plug in any x value in the positive direction. So again, all real numbers for my domain. My range this time, if I look here at my exponential, it appears to be approaching the x-axis in this case, that asymptote. So I am never going to cross that line. I'm getting really, really close to it, but we're never intersecting. So my range here is all real numbers that are above that asymptote, which happens to be at y is greater . I guess I don't really have to put the y there. All real numbers greater than 0 because we're talking about the range. Now notice this time I didn't put equals to because my function never touches that line, whereas in the quadratic function it was at that point. That's why I included it when I wrote my inequality sign. If you would like more information on this topic, check out the Learning Target spreadsheet for additional resources, videos, and practice.